Hey, welcome. Chris here with the trades. Going to go over 10 stocks I'm looking at here for next week, potential trades long. I'm actually going to go over just 10. There are a number of opportunities. The market has crashed out on Friday. As we can see right here, we're looking at SPY. There's a ton of opportunities. I'm just going to go over 10 of the high flyers, 10 of the stocks that are, mainstream, bigger blue chip types that are setting up for opportunities in my book. What I'm looking at is a company with strong fundamentals, looking good for potential long-term hold, buy and hold, and I'm looking for an entry, looking to capture some short-term gains. However, the market has definitely broken structure. We're looking at SPY here. Broke structure on Friday with a big wash candle, big down day, obviously. So the question is it gonna be the start of a tremendous pullback? I would think if it was going to happen, it would start with something like this, a big wash day and a second day continuation, and down we go. Is that going to happen? Who knows? Should the market hold and continue making highs and continue moving up? I got these 10 plays that I'm looking at for potential longs. And if it wants to break and come down, so be it. I just get out of these stocks, hold my money, and looking for an opportunity. And speaking of opportunities, if it does come down, these I've marked out these lines for myself on SPY. Should the market continue to come down and crash, I'm looking to get in here at 634, where we wicked down below in the past, then down into 619. I think that's a good buy opportunity for me. If it comes down that far, I'm all over that. If it breaks 600, I'm looking at 592 and down even to 575. If it wants to come down and hit these numbers, I'm going to be buying in increasingly large amounts as we move down. Should, though, the market hold and we continue to move up in price, the first one I'm looking at, first ticker I'm looking at here is Microsoft. Microsoft looks good. Strong company, been pushing, making highs. Obviously, been trading this one for a bit, looking like a move on Friday that's fitting my bill as an opportunity to go long. So I'm going to see if it wants to move down a little lower. I'd like to see it come down into this natural level of support here. I'm going to be a buyer into this range where we've got these lows back here. I'm interested in this one because the chart is setting up the way I like it. And we've got the stochastic going nice and low, coming down, breaking this 20 line, or yeah, right at this 20 line. I'd like to see it come as low as possible, even break, and also for the stock price to be coming down into this natural level of support into this green area. So this is setting up nice for me. Microsoft, we'll see. Anything could happen. It could just keep washing. It could crash. However, I'm going to be looking to be a buyer into this range here. See where we open on Monday. Also on the list, Google. Again, I'm going over just the ones that are fitting my criteria. There are a number of stocks that are setting up more than I could possibly go over, many, many. But just these few are the main blue chip, high flyer types that are setting up for me. Again, Google, nice push last few months or so. I've taking profits on the way up with these red lines. That's what that indicates. So I'm gonna be looking to get in on this one here on Monday. See where we open up. I'm gonna look at the risk here down into this level here. I'd be a buyer into this range, about 228 or so. There is a gap back here, so be keeping my eye on that if it wants to fill this gap. Probably what I would do and just would do with this one just because it's Google for me. I'm probably just going to start in on this one. Stochastic is nice and low. That's where I like to see it. Doesn't happen that often, but those are all opportunities. So I'm probably just going to start in small here, start buying in them. If it wants to come down even lower, if it looks like it wants to try to fill this gap, I'll probably just, knowing me, I'll probably just hold Google and see how far down it wants to come and then be ready to buy in on that. Should it pop back up, miss that opportunity, so be it. But that's probably how I would play Google. But for now, this is setting up nicely. Also on the list, NVDA, same thing. It's a big day on Friday coming down. Stochastic has a lot of room to come running down as well, but we've got a bit of a divergence here on the stock price, looking like it's moving up while the stochastic is moving down. That is an opportunity potentially on this one. See where we open it on Monday. I would not be surprised to see this come down and start testing these low levels down here, down to 165 or so. I'm going to be a buyer into this range. If it wants to break below this trend line, so be it. Although I would not be surprised to see it hold and push just because it is NVIDIA. Also on the list, Broadcom, another one that I love trading. I've been trading this one a ton, taking profits all through this push up here. up into this gap. I took some profits up into highs, started in again back here when the stochastic hit this low point. Now it's doing the same thing again, coming down into a natural level of support on the chart into this range. You could easily hold with these previous candles where it wicked and popped back up, but it did fail and roll over like everything else on Friday. So I'm going to be a buyer into this range here, about 5-6% or so. That's perfectly fine. Would not be surprised to see it bounce off of this level here where we've got this candle making highs. I can see it bounce and push from here. So Broadcom definitely on the list. Also Palantir, get the right ticker. There we are. Palantir also doing a similar thing. Got some bit of a divergence here. This big wash day, a push, big wash day. It is making a higher high while the stochastic is making lower lows. I like that. We'll see where we open on Monday. But Palantir, if it wants to come down into this natural level of support, I am all over that. I am a buyer into this range, 8 or 9%. That is totally fine by me. I'd like to see it come down. That would be just perfect, and look for the move back up. Also, Taiwan Semiconductor, again, also a similar thing, a divergence in price. It looks like of recent stocks moving up, even with this big wash day on Friday, while the stochastic is coming down. That being said, that's my setup. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see this price come down into this green range here as low as possible while the stochastic hits new lows. That's what I'm looking for. See where we open on Monday. I'm going to be a buyer into this range. 6 or so percent is fine by me for TSM, and stochastic still has some room to run, especially the slow line. So would not be surprised to see it come down a little further from here. But if it does, I'm going to be buying all the way down. Also on the list, JD, another big one here, big high flyer type. Perfect setup for me. I like this a lot. Tomorrow, Monday, will be the moment of truth. See where we open on Monday. If it's below support, it's probably, I can see it come washing on down. If it opens up a little bit higher, I'd like to see it come down in price, test this one more time, and move back up. Risk is super tight. I'm going to be a buyer probably into this 3 or so percent into this range here. I'm looking to see it make its move, pretty quick here. If not, probably not going to be interested. Also on the list, okay, BlackRock, big BlackRock. Again, some divergence. We got price sort of making new highs. Well, not sort of, it definitely is making higher highs, not new highs, higher highs. And while the stochastic is moving down, making lower lows. So I'm going to see where we open on Monday, of course. I'm going to be a buyer into this range here, 3-4%. I take it down into right about here where we've got these wicks and the move back up. See if it wants to test that again. See where we open on Monday. I'm liking this one as well. And also on the list, similar, State Street, again, another big one here. Big wash on Friday. I like that. That's what I'm interested in. The stochastic is way down on the low end of the band there. So risk is pretty tight, 2 or 3%. I'm looking at. I'd like to see it turn right around right away if it's going to move. If not, it's probably just going to crash it and keep coming down from here. Very likely. And lastly on the list, we're looking at the Russell 2000 here. Been moving up like the market. This one is setting up nicely for me, looking pretty strong. I'm going to be a buyer into this one, this ETF, about this range here, 1-2%. The stochastic is where I want to see it. Would not be surprised to see it come down a bunch lower than that, or a bit lower than that in this chart, like all of them. But that's what I'm looking at. These 10 major large tickers. There's a ton of other opportunities. This is what happens when we got good companies that have big wash days like we did on Friday. That to me is opportunity. So happy trading.